This is the Captain's Jug of Thoughts podcast.
So, here we go, first episode. We have one of the owners with us, one of the family members of the owners of the building.
The Ontario House.
Mr.
Is that the official
Matthew
name?
Costello.
So
That's the official name,
but
but
it's the jug.
most people call it the jug,
Yeah.
or the stone jug.
That's its birth name is Ontario House, but its nickname,
AKA.
AKA. Yes. All right. So the history of this place. This is a historical building we're in, right? It's old.
Very old, 1842.
1842. Is that when Columbus sailed? I don't think so. I forgot the song.
I think it might have just been a little bit before that. It was close.
It rhymed. Yeah, so I would like to, with this show, give stories about the place, stories about the building. This is, there's been a lot that's gone down here. It's got a lot of character. I mean, I love this bar.
Yeah, it's beautiful. There's a lot of character, a lot of history, a lot of stories.
What's the first one that comes to mind? There's so many. I think anything we talk about will open up the doors into more and more.
Before the jug was built, there was a place called the Hathaway Inn on this site, and that's probably where the people left from to go burn the capital of Canada in to War of 1812.
Yep.
Like this was
that's
their
what
home
started it,
base.
yeah.
This is where they hung out before they went and started war. Yeah, I mean, you forget
They burned down that thing, and then they burned everything from here to Buffalo
Damn.
Yeah, so
on our side.
we built a giant stone building so they couldn't burn it down.
It's called the jug.
Yeah. That's unburnable.
Hathaway Tavern was
Unburnable.
not stone, obviously.
It certainly wasn't.
I mean, that's what people used to do back then. Still down in Lewiston too. Like, there were big fires down there. Like, that was their mode of fighting. Now it's the internet. We all yell at each other.
Yeah.
But before it was, we'll burn your bar down.
Right.
Like, burn your inn.
We're much tougher now with our big words over
Yeah.
over the internet.
I'm gonna say that next time someone's mean, if someone leaves a negative comment on this, we'll be like, we're gonna burn your inn down.
Yeah.
Be like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's so retro.
Right. They probably won't even know what that means.
So it got burned down, and then this building was erected in its place.
Correct.
All right. And that's 1842?
1842.
1842. Well, what are some historical stories that you think of? Even if the folklore, you know?
Matt has actually a great story that happened to him when they took the building over.
Oh, we're going to ghost stories already? Wait,
Well-
I got a history story
You got a
first,
history,
you wanted
yeah.
to-
Oh,
So the horse thieves used to hang out here. They were like a bunch of cowboys that would
Yeah.
steal horses back from people.
Okay.
And there's a picture of them. There's like 10 of them standing in front of the building. You know?
Really? Well, that's
Yeah.
cool. One of those old creepy pictures where no one's smiling.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Oh, it's awesome. It's like you could make a print out of, nice print.
Yeah, that's really cool. So horse thieves. This was a place for old school gangsters to hang out, right?
Well, absolutely. And during Prohibition, it was right on the border, so you can imagine what was going on around
Yeah.
here.
For anyone who doesn't know where we're at, we are on. We're in Youngstown, New York, right on the river, and on the other side of that river is Canada. So we're as far in America as you can get. We're right on the border. And in this area during Prohibition and like the slave Underground Railroad and stuff they had to get slaves out and get booze in. That's what they were trying to do.
Right.
But so I never even thought of that. This was probably a prime spot for that. Is this like a speakeasy?
Absolutely.
Oh man, wonder what the password was.
It was probably a knock,
Oh yeah.
a good one.
3, then 5, then 7.
Dude standing out there, he's like, wait, 3, 7, then 5. God damn it.
I screwed it up again.
So this was the horse thieves who come here. And hang on, I know we're bouncing all over the place
Yep.
historically.
Well, yeah, the horse thieves were like in cowboy times. This place is pretty much a cowboy bar when you look at it, like a saloon.
Yeah, like that Eagles record.
Yep, right. There's actually old photos of pictures from the outside, or banners from the outside that said like how the women had to go like to the back of the bar because they like
Yeah, tables for the ladies in the back. It was a Coca-Cola sign, so it was like the
Yeah.
20s,
yeah. It's just crazy when you think about it and see it. Like it's funny.
And it was just so normal to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, well, yeah.
Right.
That's interesting.
Yeah, the place had like 40 rooms at one time, So they used to like pack them in.
Yeah, it's definitely a very old school bar, because like you go to Europe, like all those old taverns are all inns. They have rooms upstairs. There's rooms upstairs here, so it's definitely old school. So this would be not just a place to come drink. They would be camped out here.
Well,
Right.
it was also a military town too, so
Yeah, the
there was
fort is
definitely-
right down the
Yeah,
street.
we're,
Fort
we're right here
Niagara.
at Fort Niagara.
You know how guys on
right
leave
across the
act,
river. Fort George.
Yeah.
So
Well, there are times when they do reenactments. The reenactors come here to have a beer after. So
Right.
you'll walk in and there'll be a bunch of Confederate soldiers.
yeah,
Like,
it's
you
really
guys
funny.
ghosts or are you real people?
I know. I saw a Scottish one yesterday.
Really?
Oh, yeah?
They called them the ladies from hell because they were kilt.
Yeah. Oh, see.
I was staying here one time upstairs, and this was before you guys bought it. The old owner Eddie was kind enough to let me stay upstairs for a short period of time, and I was closed. I was bartending here as well, so I closed the bar down. I'm the only person in the whole building. I go upstairs, and there's no lights on. The only little bit of light there is from the exit signs. So I turn the corner, and at the end of the hallway is a door with a big window, and all I see is like a silhouette of a person.
It's always a silhouette.
And so I kind of was a little shocked. So I'm like, hello. And I get no answer. And I'm like, hello. No answer again. And I'm like, there's definitely a person there. I can see him, So I begin to edge toward them,
Yeah.
continuously saying, hello, I see you.
Please speak.
Say something.
Yeah.
Well, as I get a little closer, it's obviously a soldier from like the 1800s.
Oh my God.
And it was a cardboard cutout.
I was hoping that story wasn't going anywhere because it sounded like
I
bullshit.
swear to God. So I just sent Eddie a text message that said, you're an asshole.
That's funny.
And I got no response until the next morning, and he just sent me back a couple question marks. And I'm like, why on earth would you put a cardboard cutout of a soldier in the window at the end of the hallway when you know I'm staying here?
Yeah.
Scared the
What,
shit out of me.
You do it on purpose?
And,
Is he just messing with you?
no, I didn't even think about it, man. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's still hilarious.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Good prank. Well, I mean, that's another question. It's a historical building, so we're all curious of the haunted nature of it. But that's not the first thing I wanted to ask because it feels like an 8th grade sleepover.
Right.
You ever seen a ghost? If you wanted one superpower, what would it be? But yeah, I mean, so you guys took it over. The Costello family took it over, and when you were renovating it, you found some things. There's some things you dug up. Did you learn anything?
Well, Eugenia lived here in the 50s and 60s, and she never talks about any ghosts at all. But I've seen something,
Yeah?
I've seen things, yeah.
Here?
And
Yeah.
Eugenia is one of the former owners, the mother of Eddie, who we were just speaking of, the last owner. And she is still alive and well and comes here a couple times a week for lunch at 91 years old.
Her family owned the building for 90 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they would know if there was some shady stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you would think so.
Yeah.
Or,
She's a little
or
young to know about Prohibition, though, because that's the 20s,
Yeah. But if there was a ghost any time within the last 90 years, you think they might have run into them.
She always said, she never saw anything, but
But how can you tell? How can you tell? Because there's all the reenactors are walking around. You see a Confederate
This is
soldier,
true.
you're like, oh, that's the green
cardboard
actor.
cutouts everywhere.
Yeah.
Everything's
Exactly.
there to throw you off. It's bullshit.
I got shot with a musket last night. How do you even treat a wound like that?
It being such an old building, there's constantly noises.
Yeah,
So-
you can hear them all right now.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
you know.
noise,
Yeah, like when you sleep upstairs, it sounds like someone's walking up and down the stairs all night.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
At times, yes. You know.
Yeah, I've never seen any ghosts except for those weird screams in the distance and the pounding on the floor.
Right. You know.
I mean, yeah, I live in an older house. They move around
Yeah.
with the wind blows. Your whole house will start creaking.
Right.
The heat bangs, you know.
Yeah. The Heat Bangs is a great band name. Yeah, very rich history here, and that's what we should be studying.
Yeah, I do have a story. This is the one Chris was trying to get me to bring up, but I'm going to bring up a different one first.
See, this is what I'm saying. There's going to be 1,000 stories coming out.
The story that I want to hear might be for another episode. We'll see.
Gotta save the good stuff, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, one night I was sitting at the bar and like I put a dollar bill on top of my beer, but it, like just stood on the points. It was folded in half. It
Yeah.
just like stood up like one of those birds that stands on their nose.
Like origami.
No, like one of those birds you balance up in your office to look
Oh,
cool.
right. Okay. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it just stayed up there for like 10 minutes. It's crazy.
So that was a ghost?
Oh,
Who knows?
either that was a ghost or a symbol or something, but like
It was the spirit of something?
it stood up there. It was unnatural. Like what is that?
Well, he was trying to get it because it goes like, paper money. It wasn't like back then it was all coins, like a paper money. Even a dollar was like, you were rich if you had a dollar, right?
Right.
We are not history majors,
Yeah, but
obviously.
it was almost like there was a breeze like blowing from under. It was weird.
1842, I think that's when the first iPhone came out. It's
Yeah.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
They still had a headphone jack.
We had to call over to Canada to make sure we got our booze.
Yeah, right?
But all right, I'll tell the good story now. But yeah, one day I showed up. It was like back when Eddie owned it. And so I was like young. I was like, probably 21, 22 or something. Anyway, I walk up to the jug.
Perfect.
There was this guy with like this pip hat on, like he's selling newspapers or something.
Yeah.
And he had,
Like
a
from
kind
like
of
the
a-
20s.
No. Before that, like turn
in
of
a-
the century, like
Like
1890.
I think they call it a newsboy cap.
Yeah. Is that what
There you
it's
go.
called? I could never figure out what that kind of hat is.
Why, Mr. Scrooge? It's Christmas Day. That kid.
Right. Yeah. Or no.
Whatever, yeah.
But so the guy had like a English accent, kind of, like, oh, he must be from out of town or something. But he was kind of pale looking, but he was like weird. He was looking
This
for
guy
a
must
coin
be
in the
from
window well.
Ransomville.
Yeah.
He was
At
probably
least 1 or 2 towns over.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But
I hate people from Grand Island, man.
I think that's where the Costello family is actually originally ranged from.
well, he hates it. But anyway, so the guy was looking for something in the
Window well.
window well, and I thought it was weird. All right, so I went in the bar and got a beer. I talked to everybody at the bar, and they're like, "We didn't see anybody out there," And then 10 years
There's
later,
definitely no Englishman from Ransomville here.
I haven't seen one.
right? It was like kind of weird
Yeah,
or whatever.
sure.
So I just went about my life, and then like 10 years later, I find a coin on that same windowsill
Oh, wow.
from 1890,
1890.
Bank of
This
Montreal.
is a true story.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was stamped by the Bank of Montreal, which I've never heard of.
Which is
you know?
crazy.
Yeah, that's an artifact.
I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, and it's like the only artifact I've ever found. I dig in the ground every day,
Yeah.
and I never find anything. So I mean, there's some significance there.
Absolutely. There's a lot of significance there, I would say.
Yeah, really.
It's actually pretty
I mean,
ironic.
1890. I mean, it's crazy.
Then the guy didn't say anything? He didn't say, did you see a historical piece over here? Did you see a museum piece?
He was looking for his coin, man. It's
He was
just
looking for his coin. Yeah, well,
everyday coin back in the day. You know?
Yeah. I mean, that was probably all the money that he had. And he lost his coin.
And then he died some horrific way, and he's stuck in like some kind of in between time or
yeah,
something.
he died of some crazy disease at the ripe old age of 28.
And he continuously comes back here looking for his coin.
Yeah, that's the backstory. So this place just absorbs historical things.
Sure does.
And we're making history here right now.
Yeah.
It's hallowed ground, as they say.
200 years, they'll talk about that.
There's always been a bar here, you know. It's crazy.
It's been it's the town watering hole, you know. This is a small town, literally one stoplight town, you know. This is
Literally.
the watering hole, yeah. And this has been the longest institution in this town.
Oh, it's definitely the place to go to. It's
Yeah.
a beautiful building. It's a 4-story stone structure with finished coins on the corner. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, it's an incredible building.
There's artifacts all over.
When you're on the
building.
top, it feels like you're on a skyscraper, you know.
Yeah, it really is amazing. You can see pretty much the entire town when you get up there.
Yeah. I actually one day I was in the bathroom here, and I went to get the paper towels out, and there's an arrowhead in there. No, that didn't happen. Also.
That was like one of those
I
ghost
was like,
stories
holy shit.
right there.
I don't have any story. So yeah, the rich history, and that's why I love this bar. It's got an old feel to it. It's not a TGI Fridays. It's not a, you know, it's not. It feels like the old taverns we would go to in Ireland, the ones that were established in like the 1500s. Like it's got that very deep wood vibe, very chill.
Absolutely. There used to actually be a picture in here of the Blue Light, which ironically enough is beer made in Canada, right across the river, and it's also a bar though in Ireland, and it's two old Irishmen, you know, at the bar of the Blue Light.
Oh, and they're like laughing and like
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And they look pretty intoxicated.
They most certainly
They
do.
look like they've been intoxicated for like 60 years.
Yeah, approximately. Yeah. And they were 61.
Yeah, that's a great picture. I forgot that used to be here. Yeah, and it encompasses, like you look at the picture and it's just got the vibe of what we're talking about.
Exactly.
you know?
Exactly. I was actually over at Eddie's house the other day, and he's got it hanging on his outside patio.
I think that's
Outside.
like someone famous, you know, like someone from like the 40s or something. Like it's like a famous picture, I think.
I thought it was just Niall's dad.
Was it?
No.
Well, that's what we're saying. Like this bar is like it's got that old, like if you're a real drinker, if you really like have the beloved craft of drinking, the rich history of it, this is the bar for you.
Absolutely.
You know,
Well-
you're not going to go to Shenanigans or whatever.
No. No more shenanigans.
Nah, there's no goofy stuff hanging on the walls.
It's definitely been called a vortex before,
A vortex,
Know that.
you get sucked in. Like
Yeah. for sure.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are building a new culture here. You're taking it over for yourselves, but still keeping the
Rich history.
authenticity of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Just upgrading in all the right spots.
Yeah. New
It's a
bathrooms.
beautiful thing.
Let's get all the coins out of the window still, okay?
Yeah.
Let's clean this place up. Yeah. Stories upon stories.
The new bathrooms were something that we absolutely had to do. The old bathroom, it was almost impossible to sit in the bar in the summer. Because,
Especially when it rained.
the rain would come right through the fourth, third, and second floor onto your head into the bathroom on the first floor. Somehow, I have no idea how that ever happened still, but
Magical.
it almost was.
Yeah.
And then you would take a piss, and it would go into I don't even know what the hell it was, like this like sandy grove under the building. And it would get jammed up every once in a while, and you'd have to crawl in this crawl space under the building.
Oh, no.
It was horrific.
There is a
Horrific.
little crawl space, right? I think
I'm not
seen it
making this
before. It's
up.
pretty
I've
good.
been
No,
in there.
Yeah.
This is definitely true.
So the water. It was almost like a
lot of cool
irrigation
stuff down
system
there.
from the roof into the basement.
Yeah.
It would drip down through the top, and then you would absorb it, and then go relieve yourself.
Yes.
And then it would come out, and then eventually be in the basement.
It
So
was
you
the
had to,
natural flow of
You,
things.
you turn into
in
an
the
amphibian
1800s.
after a while.
So,
so you had to crawl under and clean it out, or like
well, I never did. I always held the flashlight.
I have a flashlight. I'm really good at it.
Yeah. Like, I see you right where it is.
Yeah.
See, it's right there. I'm pointing right at it.
I have very steady hands.
Yeah, get in there. You got it. There you go.
There was always a joke. Bob McVie has a big excavator, so they said, "Hey, pull your low boy up to the side and just like don't even take the thing off the trailer." Or no, Bob threatened to do this actually, you know, because he used to live here in the '60s. He was like a greaser guy.
Yeah.
You know, like Ed Wojcik, who was the previous owner, always said he looked like Elvis. You know, and he used to live up there, and like they used to like grill out on the fire escape, you know, like
Yeah.
New York City style.
Ball,
you know?
ball, ba dang, 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 ball, ball, ball. And all that.
That's awesome.
But he threatened to come over here and scoop the whole bathroom out of the building with the excavator without even taking it off the trailer.
Yeah. Which, quite frankly, probably should have been done.
Absolutely, it would make it a better place. That's
Yeah.
how bad it was.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
rip it out. Yeah, because it would all this drippage would build up, and then in the heat of the summer,
With the rain,
yeah,
Yeah.
in this unburnable stone building, would just be this.
Uh,
See, that's the thing. It keeps
Intense
fire off, but keeps scent
smell
in.
that that could not escape.
Yeah. Well, no more.
Except for into your nostrils.
No more. Now you guys came in. You guys did beautiful work, but you kept like the stone facade up in the back, and now the bathrooms are very clean, very safely in the distance. God damn it.
Yeah.
Away from everything.
right?
Yeah.
There's a women's bathroom, which is nice.
Which
Right.
isn't. Yeah, the other one. It used to be you had to go through like 2 other rooms to get to the back.
Yeah.
And it was like dark and weird. And if it was a girl,
no
who,
heat back
if a
there.
girl who knew the place was fine with it, but if you brought a new girl here, you're like, oh yeah, the bathroom. It's through those 2 dark rooms,
Yeah.
You'll be all right.
past that terrifying staircase. Yeah, it's like De Niro in Goodfellas. Like, no, over there, keep going.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
over there, around the corner. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she knows what's up.
Over there.
Yeah.
Just keep pushing your hand back
Yeah.
and to
Yeah.
the right.
But
You'll
now-
find it. You'll find it. You're gonna be okay. Don't worry. And that way we'd never see them again.
So that's Some girls never came back.
Might be for different reasons, though.
So in 100 years, there's going to be these drunk girl ghosts walking around, going, "Oh my God,
Where's Chris Harding?
bathroom!"
I think that there are a couple of them hanging out in the cistern underneath the kitchen.
Yeah, that's a creepy room. That's like the panic room or something, you know.
It really is.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, didn't you introduce yourself as the captain when this show was
He's the
starting?
captain.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
I'm the
No, that was
captain.
for him.
yeah, that's for him.
Oh, nice.
I didn't do it. The English robot lady did it.
Yeah, you didn't hear her?
Yeah, he's
What-
the captain.
Yeah.
This is your show,
The captain's
You
jug
didn't,
of
you
thoughts.
didn't hear the song?
Captain Chris.
Well, that's what he wants to call it, the captain's jug of thoughts. So we got to get like a thing that's like pop the cork.
There you go.
The captain's in the jug. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
that sounded great.
That
Well,
sounds-
that's what it is.
That sounds classy.
Yeah.
Right.
Nothing classier than a.
Yeah. And there's nothing classier than us.
Well, it's almost, this building has like a Forrest Gump quality because it's been here through all these cultural changes. Like the Cowboys used to drink here, and
Right.
then the Confederate would drink here, and now the 50s greasers would drink here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and throughout all of that, this place is still here.
I think
Yeah.
we covered most of the history there.
Yeah.
We're missing the
Yeah.
70s. What happened then?
You do one of those movies like how Spinal Tap was, like how it followed them through all those things. Like it had their era in the 60s when they sang that goofy song, and then they would go through all those cultural changes. Like you just see flashes of people back here all 70s out, and then you see people with Flock of Seagulls haircuts.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think we don't seem to get too many of the hipsters for some reason. I don't know.
You would think this place is a hipster honeypot.
You would think so,
sure.
you know.
It has dive bar written
uh,
all over it.
Yeah, but I mean, do you notice a lot of them coming in, Matt?
You need to get like a jukebox
They
that
used to.
just has like, old Wilson Pickett songs that were
Right.
recorded on a tin can.
Oh man, yeah, that would.
How about a guy locked in a closet with a bunch of vinyl? You just yell at the requests to all day.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But you yell obscure stuff no one's ever heard of.
Right.
And you got to put all your beers in like paper cups or
Right,
something, like
yeah.
biodegradable cups.
I know something you don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that's the next wave, right?
Hey, you know,
Could be the future.
it's the future of our country right there.
Yeah. Yep.
So what are some stories that you've personally experienced? Because, I mean, both of you have been here for a while, running the joint.
Well, I mean, the captain runs it.
Yeah, the captain's here. He's the captain of the ship.
I got a couple things that have happened, but I mean, I'm not a real firm believer in. I don't know. I feel like there's always a reason that these things happen.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say that there isn't something
You
else
talking
out
like
there.
ghosts and spirits and stuff?
I certainly am.
Yeah. We don't have to stick to that topic, but as far as, as long as we're on it.
Well, so this one evening when Eddie used to own the place, I worked here, and another friend of mine that we all know, a friend of ours,
Is he a
Pat.
friend of ours?
yeah, he's a friend of ours. He, the floor behind the bar where the bartenders all work, it used to get pretty soupy,
Yeah.
and eventually, like, it started to rot away, and it was pretty necessary to put a new floor in back there.
It was like a wood floor.
It was a wood floor, and with no drainage, nothing. So, like I said, I mean, it'll get a little soupy back there.
It's a wet
Yeah.
bar.
Especially during times like regatta and things
Yeah,
like that.
when it's busy, yeah.
I mean, we have a local regatta here that was
You needed to
a
figure out
gigantic hit.
whatever
in the
leak was
80s and
happening in the
90s.
bathroom. You had to implement that leak to behind the bar.
Hopefully not. Those
So,
are two pools you hope don't cross.
No, yeah, you don't want that. So, obviously, the only time there is to actually work on this floor is from approximately 3:30 or 4 a.m. until
Right.
9 or 10 a.m.
Yeah, when no one's here.
Yes,
Like
because,
when you have to work on a highway or
yeah,
something.
because the bar is open from 11 a.m. Until 2 or 3 a.m., depending on the evening.
Yeah.
So, this one particular night, we had already set, like, we put new drainage in to get down into the basement so that we wouldn't have this 3 inches of water, well, booze, whatever you want to call it.
It's a
A little
it's
bit
a
of
smorgasbord.
everything.
It's
yeah.
jungle juice.
A little bit of, yeah.
Hey, and we got Saturday
That must-
afternoon sangria from Friday night.
That
Yeah.
must have smelled nice.
Oh, it was great. Sarsaparilla. So, we're starting to put the tile in back there. Well, we're running real low on grout, so Pat says, I'm gonna go get. I know I got at least one more bag out at my parents' house, which is about 5 or 6 miles down the road. And he's like, "You mind keeping going?" And I'm like, "No, absolutely not. Like, I got this." So I'm behind the bar and I'm underneath the sinks, like the wells.
Yeah.
And I'm slapping down the grout, laying the tile, sponging it all, getting the whole thing going, and the back door opens, and I know I'm the only one in the building.
Right.
The back door opens, and I hear someone walk in. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention. A half a dozen steps, but steps, obvious steps.
Yeah.
So from underneath one of the sinks behind the bar, I yell out, "Hello!" Well, there's no response, and I'm like, "Oh, all right." So I get out from underneath there, and I look around. I don't see anything. I look out into the parking lot, nothing. I'm like, well, that was odd.
Yeah.
Whatever. I get back down there, get back to work. 5 minutes go by maybe, and I shit you not, literally the exact same thing happened.
A door and footsteps.
The goddamn door definitely opened, and I definitely heard approximately a half a dozen footsteps, as if someone, a half a dozen footsteps would have put them at, one of the first couple bar stools
Yeah.
from the back door.
You heard it was close enough that you could hear.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm only, 12, 15 feet away
Yeah.
from the back door
If
where
anybody
I'm
was
working.
in there, you'd look up. They'd be
So-
right there.
You were finally cleaning up the
So-
drink you spilled like 200 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Some ghost is like, "Did you see a coin anywhere?"
So,
guy. What the hell?
so I say, I'm like, hello. No one says anything. I get out from underneath there again. And, I look around a little, nothing. So I call Pat. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, nothing. I just pulled into my parents' driveway. What's going on? And I go, oh, yeah? I go, so you're all the way down Youngstown Lockport? You're, 6 miles away? Yeah, why? I'm like, I was just checking. He's like, all right, do you need something? I'm like, nope. He's like, okay, weirdo, bye. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm just going to turn the TV up real loud.
Yeah.
Because if I can't hear it,
Out
it's
of
not
sight.
really happening.
Out of sight, out of mind.
So that's what I do. And it's like some old Western movie.
The ghost's favorite.
You know, yeah. But whatever, you know, they can dance all they want. I can't hear them anymore.
Yeah. Out of well, not even out of sight, out of earshot, out of mind.
Yeah,
You can pretend
exactly.
it's not there.
Yeah, and that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to finish the work, get it done, and pretend this never happened.
It's funny you say that too, because that just, you know, something clicked in my brain. I remember another time when we first bought the place, we were remodeling, you know, and the bar was closed down. You know, the license was coming in still, and they left me here. It was Halloween night, you know, and I'm
Perfect.
left in the jug, and no
Yeah.
one's here. It hasn't been closed down in like 100 years, you know, and I'm left here on Halloween night by myself, you know.
Right.
I think I was like putting a door in or something. I forget.
Yeah.
But yeah, and all this crazy shit was happening, man. I remember we had beers.
Who's we?
Like, we had like a cooler on the job, you know, like so after 5 o'clock we'd bust
Yeah.
one open, you know.
Yeah.
And this was like 10, you know, so and I was still working. You know, you need fuel after you know,
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
after hours, you know. But
Yeah.
so
So you're there alone. You're here alone
right
at the time.
yeah, and
Being in this building alone is a treat in itself.
Yeah.
well, when it's dark and no one's here is when it's scary.
Yeah.
Like
It's amazing.
Well, no, when it's
you're
dark
by yourself.
and you're not sure if no one's here. That's when it's scary.
Well, you
Well, the
always
building
hear
is big enough that you really never are sure.
yeah.
It's so funny, like how many noises happen, like when you're like by yourself, like in the dark. But then when like it's a normal day, nothing ever happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe it's like spidey senses. Like if it's dark, you kind of hear things
Well,
more.
they say you might create
Right.
stuff in your head.
Yeah.
You know?
Imagination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no one should be allowed in their own head alone.
Right. When you spend too much time by yourself too, you start creating things, you know, in your head.
So
You
you're
know,
making a friend.
exactly.
Someone to hang out
It's a
with.
friend in the making.
Right. And he just happens to be 100 years old.
So you're here late, alone, you think, and you're working, you're having beers. Was something happen?
Well, here's what I think I blame it on, but it just sounded like someone was like pounding on the side of the building. Actually, my dad had the same story, actually, and I laughed at him when he told me because like I figured out what the
crazy.
noise was.
Yeah.
What it was, there's like this old creepy dentist chair sitting in the bar.
Yeah,
remember
there
that
is.
thing?
Yeah, there was a chair. Is that what it was? It was
Yeah,
like
all the cushions are like torn up and shit. You know,
it
like
looked
it
like
looks
an
so
old
creepy.
torture
like,
device.
Yeah,
like when
exactly.
they go to like an old
Yeah.
insane
But
asylum.
it's still here.
Sean's
Yeah.
band used to play here, and the thing would be sitting like right over there. It's like, what is this place they're playing in?
Right,
You know, like,
yeah.
You ever go to the Niagara Hotel in Lockport?
No.
It's like a creepy saloon just like this, dude. It's
Yeah.
all stone and stuff, and there's like this little stage in the back, dude. And it's like a total like cowboy saloon like stage, you know. So you can imagine what's happened there in the years.
Yeah,
And
this-
Al O'Brien and the Meat Whistles played there, and dude, it was just like so funny, like how like creepy and weird it was. But it makes me think about this place with the dentist chair and shit. You know, like
Is that what it was? It was a dentist chair? Because it looked.
Yeah,
I
it had
think
that-
so. It looked
has like the
medical.
head, the
Yeah.
head thing that
Yeah.
you rest your head on. with
Or
the
was
two,
it
the
an
two
old-
cups you put
Was
your
it
head
an
on?
old chair where they would lean you back and do like the old shave, like an old barber chair?
Well, that's what they say it was. Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
It was
I mean-
heavy as hell. I remember that.
Well, barbers were dentists at one point, so
That was a one-stop shop.
yeah. If that dude's in
Well,
town,
it's
you
still
need
in the
everything
back
done,
room.
You know.
Yeah.
Pull this tooth out while you're at it. Here's some pliers.
I sat in it like 3 days ago.
Yeah. I'm going on a date. I need
But
a shave
anyway.
and pull my dead tooth out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to clean up my act.
Shine my one good tooth.
But yeah. So anyway, this the chair, the hydraulics were broken in it. It stays all the way up, and the thing would just pop. You know, pop. You know,
It would
it would
start,
just it sounded like someone like bumped on the floor or
Oh, wow.
banged on the wall.
Yeah,
you
So
know?
it would start going down by itself.
Yeah.
And making
My
noise.
dad was here working by himself one morning. He's like, you know, I heard like banging on the wall. You know, and he's like, I was talking to it. You know, so like, I was like laughing at him. Dude, it was the chair, man. Like, you know,
That
because
is
kids always
creepy.
come in and like pump
Yeah.
it up or something. You
It's
know.
the old dentist chair.
That is creepy. When
That,
there's
that was a fake ghost story.
old tiny chair that starts, all the pieces are there though.
It was so scary. But
What-
I was scared for my life in here by myself, though. Like
Yeah.
it was a scary night, dude.
I hear you, man.
Like Ray O'Keefe showed up at one point, and then he left. It was like I was like I thought I was seeing a ghost. He has gray hair, but it turned out to be Ray O'Keefe.
It was just Ray
I was like-
playing the harmonica.
It was scary, man. Like this place hasn't been closed down for 100 years. It's just eerie, like it's like you're sitting in Grand Central Station when it should be like crowded, like
Yeah.
Right, and,
You know what I mean?
and nothing is gonna piss the spirits off more than not serving spirits.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
They're here. Even the ghosts in the afterlife still we gotta get their drink on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I got unfinished business in this world.
Every once in a while,
Exactly.
I find a
And, like,
random
renovating
weird
is
bottle
when-
in the basement.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm like, who
Oh,
the hell
yeah.
put this here?
That
You
is
guys
weird.
are like, I don't think there's any ghost stories, but here, each of us have 20 examples.
Well, like things
stuff.
click in my head. I have such a hard time thinking of stories.
Well,
That's-
back
yeah.
to the evening that I was under the sinks laying the ground. The two times this happens, the door opens and there's some footsteps. Well, now I can't really hear because I have this old Western playing so loud
Yeah.
that's all I can really hear. And all of a
Some
sudden
Hank
I
Williams?
hear, all of a sudden I hear, hey!
Oh, jeez.
And I'm like, holy shit. I shit you not, I jumped
Yeah.
under the sink and hit my head on the bottom of a sink.
'Cause you're
That's a
already
foot and a
on
half.
edge. You're
It's a
already
foot
on
and a
edge,
half off
yeah.
the ground, And I crawl out from under and I'm like, for about the 18th time that evening, hello? And I just hear, what the fuck are you doing? And I turn around and it's Eddie, the owner,
Yeah.
the old owner. I go, laying ground. He goes, what are you watching?
Why is it so loud?
I go, I'm not watching anything. I'm like, I'm underneath here. He goes, why do you have this on so loud? I'm like, well, why not? And then he's looking at me.
Yeah. And you can see in your face that you're kind of freaked out.
And he's been here for a very long time. And especially his family. And he just goes, something happened, didn't it?
Yeah, he always says he hears stuff here.
I go, I don't want to talk about it. I got to finish this.
Was it the pounding on the wall or was it the footsteps? You like the footsteps?
Yeah, but when you sleep up here by yourself, it didn't used to be a hotel upstairs, but now people stay there all the time,
Yeah.
from all over the world. And, I was sleeping up there one night, I was probably drunk, and I'm trying to go to sleep. And,
Which
all
should
you
be
could
relatively
hear-
easy when you're drunk.
Exactly. But all I could hear, it's cold, the wind is blowing through the place, the windows are terrible. They're from 1842. I don't think they had a warranty that goes that far. But,
Yeah, we really need to get a grant to get these windows paid for.
which I hear can be done. But, yeah, so all night it just sounded like doors were slamming and people walking up and down the stairs all night. I swear to God, I just could not sleep and I couldn't always sleep,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, that's creepy, man. I mean, little things. There's enough little things like that that'll get you. And then once you start listening for it, you'll,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe it wasn't even happening, but
you imagined it, like you said.
Which is
But-
entirely possible.
absolutely.
All right. What about something that isn't terrifying?
Oh man, most of the time, me and Chris have never seen any I've actually thought I never heard a ghost story from Chris before, but then I realized I've heard 10 over the years.
Well, we're not sure.
Well,
'Cause,
I-
like,
sure
most
what
of the
they-
I
time,
don't know if I was go as far as to say that. I've never actually seen a ghost here or anything like that.
right?
Things to cause suspicion.
Except for that cardboard cutout.
Well,
That was
yeah,
pretty
but
scary,
I'm pretty sure.
wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that wasn't a ghost.
Really
though.
changed his life.
I don't know how much it changed my life.
All right. Well, if Dan Aykroyd or Bill Murray or any of the Ghostbusters are listening,
Yeah,
we need your help.
That was a great movie.
right. There appears to be some commotion on the fourth floor
Yeah.
and possibly in the basement.
Possibly. The commotion in the basement is just a guy crying because everything's leaking down into him, and he's stuck there for eternity.
Well, they actually
right.
used to have like rooms down there. That's where the first kitchen is.
I don't know what he's
There's no-
crying for. He's constantly drunk. Like I'd be happy as hell.
He's the guy with the bottles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stealing the bottles.
But he only steals the fresh stuff. The stuff that's been there for like 100 years, he leaves there for some reason, you know?
They're very dusty.
But yeah, I mean, there's been 3 kitchens in this place. They used to make the women like cook down in the basement,
Wow.
and they had like a bread oven down there and stuff.
Yeah.
It's still
You know,
there.
like the
it's still
kind of
there.
kitchen-
It's just not.
Not
It's
operating.
not functioning.
Yeah.
The kind of kitchen where you like swing the cauldron in, you know, to cook the
Wow.
soup. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Old
Yeah.
school.
Like Finkbinder's house. Remember that? In their
Not really,
kitchen.
but yeah,
No.
yeah, I know what you mean, like old, you know, old.
Yeah. Well, that's yeah.
It's
but,
very very cool. It's really cool. Like you go down there.
So
and you're
there's still
holy
like some of the old kitchen equipment.
well, there's still the brick oven.
Wow,
Yeah,
It's built right into the wall.
You could
of the
throw a new
basement.
cauldron on
It's-
there if you wanted
it's-
to,
It's amazing.
you know?
You
It's
could get it
fantastic.
working.
You
if
could
you
fire
want,
it up
yeah.
in a day. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you could absolutely get it working.
Yeah.
No problem.
Dude,
It's pretty
hipster.
simple technology.
You gotta throw some pitas in there and some kale chips. Hipsters will love it.
Yeah.
Brick oven. It was cooked in an oven that only got released on an indie label in Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though. So they would make all the women. I like how anytime it's before feminism, it was just make them do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're pretty. You know,
Yeah.
I'm sure the women would rather
Basement.
not be around the men back then because they were like assholes or something. You know. But
Yeah.
like, here, we gave you a spot to hang out in the basement. You know?
Yeah.
And you can like burn fire and sit in a hot room all day.
Isn't that dangerous? Like if there's start a fire in the kitchen, that's just gonna send the.
Well, it
right
kept the
up.
bar warm. I was thinking.
There you
know.
go. There you go.
Nowadays, everyone complains about being cold.
Yeah.
Since we put the heaters in, people have been like pretty happy about
Yeah.
that.
A little bit better.
Yeah.
Especially the women. You know.
But now we have a 84-degree day in May, and everyone's like, "Where's the air conditioning?"
Yeah. Well, that's that sound in the back is that fan. So now when a woman, or like when a girl's in here complaining that it's cold, you can say, "We used to send you to the basement to
To
brick
heat us
oven
up."
cook." Yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be cold if you were doing that.
Why don't you go in the basement,
Right.
fire up a
Yeah.
pizza, and maybe you'll toast up in here.
Yeah. Let's break some bread.
Things were just different. I'm not sure they're all. You know. I'm sure there's a
Sure
good
it's different.
reason for that or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we're just teasing.
You don't know. You got to put yourself in that perspective. You know.
You could time travel and come back to the jug in another time. That'd be trippy.
Well, if you just go up to the 4th floor, you
I
do
think
time
about it.
travel. Like
Yeah.
as
For
soon as
sure.
you get up there, you're like, "Whoa,
We should set up one of those.
it's
escape
100 years
rooms.
ago."
Yeah, it really is an amazing piece of architecture. Like
Yeah.
all the railings are mahogany.
Yep. Yep.
They painted
Beautiful.
it.
Dude, any old architecture, people really cared. Like in
yeah.
details,
Oh,
well,
for
because
sure.
everything goes through style too. There's details in things that people wouldn't put in necessarily today. Because then we go through the futuristic style where everything's glass.
Right.
Everything
Yeah.
looks
That's
like
boring.
the Apple Store, and you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no one likes the Apple Store because they take all your money.
Right.
Yeah, and they're very condescending.
Yeah.
Like my volume won't work. They're like, I bet it won't.
But I mean, like the door frames in this on the first floor, like the first floor is like the nicest floor.
Yeah.
You know, like they did like these like circle rosettes on the top corners of each door. And it's just like amazing woodwork.
The
Everything's
detail.
curved and everything. It's like we probably couldn't reproduce this stuff today. You know,
No, man, this is beautiful. The detail.
I thought you
And
just did.
It is
Well,
from
we-
another time.
that was the second floor, but you know, like to do the ones down here, it would take a long time. It's like a
Right,
piece of
right.
artwork. You
Yeah.
know,
Oh, for sure.
The whole building is a piece of artwork.
for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's just like so much history. Like everyone always has someone that used to go here. You know, like family history, like everything. You know, like it's like how many people just like left here and then like no one ever saw them again. You know, it's crazy.
Yep. Right down to the 1972 moose with one ear.
Yeah, we're looking at this moose. I like his Memorial Day hat.
Well-
Gigantic moose on the wall. Does the moose have a name? Someone was calling him Mussolini.
No, his name is Daryl.
Daryl? I like that better.
Well, he's just he's a local guy, not this actual moose.
Well, that moose was put there because of Daryl Johnson, though. It was put there by a Johnson. Duffy says he put that there.
Duffy says a lot of things. I like Duffy, but I never heard that. That's the
Okay.
first time I've heard that story.
It gives it
Conflicting
that
stories.
rustic
We'll do this.
vibe, that giant moose. Well, yeah, it's like there's always the different backstories. It's like the
Well,
Joker.
one of the
He's got
best
different
parts-
backstories.
One of the best parts about the moose is that it literally does only have one ear, and I don't know if you've ever seen a moose here, but you could literally wear it on your foot. They're
Yeah.
gigantic.
Yeah.
And the one ear that we do have is in the closet upstairs. So it has no ears right there. But we have one. We don't know what happened to the other one. It disappeared.
So he's not
got
getting his
sometime
ears
over the
reattached
last 20 or
anytime
30
soon.
years.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll
Someone's-
find a different moose here and give him a,
It's like
Someone put laces on it and is wearing it now.
as a moccasin, some
Exactly.
one-footed man with a very warm 1 foot.
Well, I mean, that would make sense considering, that there's a lot of pirates from this area.
right.
Peg leg.
Oh man, my grandma came in the bar one time and she's like, "Why are these pirates in here?" And we're all laughing. They're all the reenactor guys.
Yeah, all the pirates. They're
I was
close.
like, "What are these pirates doing in here?" It's funny.
Yeah.
That was like way back.
And now we're bringing the jug into the future,
Yeah, it's
modernizing it a little bit.
right.
Well, Zach Joseph just played there, and someone gave me the comment that it was like Nietzsche's.
Yeah.
Like the concert venue, like the
Yeah,
feel of
Buffalo,
it.
Yeah, yeah, a real.
There's like a giant.
old place. You have that.
Right.
There's that feeling. You can't recreate that.
Right.
There's a lot of places, like I said, in Ireland. There's the ones you go to that you know are real, and then there's ones you go to where somebody bought a bar and tried to recreate that.
Sure.
And we're like, when were you established? And the one bar is 1400 and something, and that's crazy. The other bar is like, we've been here since 1982. And we're like, that's not.
Someday it's gonna be significant.
Yeah, well, we gotta wait. I'll be like, I'm
Yeah.
coming back in 200 years. That
When
way
this
it'll be
place
cool
opens,
then,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll be back in a few hundred years.
But there's this American flag in the back room that might have gone up the hill of San Juan
Whoa.
in Puerto Rico with the Rough Riders. You know,
DMX?
they're trying to check up on the history of that, but it's hanging up back there, and it only has 48 stars on it, and it's like,
Wow.
like when bands play in front of it, it's like iconic.
Really?
You know,
I've
'cause
played
it's
in
a
front of
giant.
that.
This flag is like 16 feet long.
That is
Oh,
a-
it's huge.
like-
Yeah, that is a great place to put a band, like behind it. Like that's super
Yeah.
cool. I've played in
for
front
sure.
of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know it had like such a rich story to it.
It does, yeah. And it was a cavalry flag, so they used to like put that like on a big stick and put it on a horse. You
Yeah.
know, so that would be intimidating coming
Oh
up.
yeah, for sure.
That big old star-spangled banner. But it's cool to play rock and roll in front of too.
Absolutely.
Works for
Yeah,
that too.
For sure, dude.
Right.
It's beautiful. That's great. Dude, rich history, man, and I hope we keep digging into that.
Absolutely.
Oh, we definitely will. Through
This is the Captain's Jug of Thoughts podcast.